Paddy was one time asked how he felt he would be remembered in 100 years' time. And he answered with this song, which proved that he knew himself very well, but he also knew what the people of Dublin thought about him at the time. It's called If Ever You Go to Dublin Town in 100 years or so. If ever you go to Dublin Town in 100 years or so, inquire for me in Bagot Street and what I was like to know. Oh, he was a queer one, diddle-diddle-do. He was a queer one, and I'll tell you. Oh, my great-grandmother knew him well. He asked her to come and call on him in his flat, and she giggled at the thought of a young girl's lovely fall. Oh, he was dangerous, diddle-diddle-do. He was dangerous, and I tell you. On Pembroke Road, look out for me ghost, dishevelled with shoes untied, playing through the railings with little children whose children have long since died. Oh, he was a nice man, diddle-diddle-do. He was a nice man, and I'll tell you. Ever go into a pub and listen well, if my voice still echoes there? Ask the men what their grandsires thought and tell them to answer fair. Oh, he was eccentric, diddle-diddle-do. He was eccentric, and I'll tell you. He had the knack of making men feel as small as they really were, which meant as great as God had made them, but as males they disliked his air. Oh, he was a proud one, diddle-diddle-do. He was a proud one, and I'll tell you. If ever you go to Dublin Town in 100 years or so, sniff for me personality. Is it vanity's vapour now? Oh, he was a vain one, diddle-diddle-do. He was a vain one, and I'll tell you. I saw his name with 100 more in a book in the library. They said he had never fully achieved his potentiality. He was a vain one, diddle-diddle-do. He was a vain one, and I'll tell you. He knew that posterity had no use for anything but the soul, the lines that speak in the passionate heart, the spirit that lives alone. Oh, he was a lone one, diddle-diddle-do. He was a lone one, and I'll tell you. He was a lone one, diddle-diddle-do. And he lived happily, and I'll tell you. That was